All right, guys. So I have a lot going on here. Just gonna quickly take you through what's happening. So I set up this scenario, which I put together myself. Up here is the Russian headquarters that we have to take. I have a machine gunner, another one here on the second level, another one back there. So basically, they're covering the bridges, as you can see here. This bridge is covered, and this bridge, and also this area. It is, I'm on turn 2, it's the Germans moving, so a lot has happened. So where should we start? All right, so I'll start in the middle. We had some SS units in here. I decided to take one out and move it across the bridge. He's carrying a light machine gun. Russians saw him, opened fire with his heavy machine gun, and was able to blast this guy. There's a full squad in here, actually, with a leader. So let me show you what's in there. So this had full firepower, and then we use half firepower. The half squad is a spotter for this mortar. So this is what we had going on. Let's leave that down there. So they fired on them, broke these guys here. So these guys are broken. They had another stack of units, which is here, leader and some more SS units. What they decided to do is they went into the orchard, went into the stream. The spotter was able to spot them. They had actually acquisition over here, but turned their eyes over here, dropped down, I want to believe 3 times, because they got raped 3 times. So they fired 3 times, and but the Germans were able to escape. They finished, and Germans moved up into this position behind the tree. So that's where they are. There was a unit here, but the Stug was able to come up the road. They fired and did not hit, and they were overrun by the Stug. Stug came in, got into position. We have an anti-tank gun over there, fired twice. Fired once, missed, didn't intend to fire right away, missed again. They fired twice, was able then to get a pin. They didn't intend to fire on the next turn. Let me bring this back on this prep fire phase. That's right. This prep fire phase, they fired. Nothing happened. Then they did intense fire with the penalty, was able to pin their crew. So their crew is pinned. I was able then in the movement phase to bring up this other Stug that came up the road and is now here, and is going to back up this unit and try to clear out this courtyard, as this guy up here has been, and the mortar has been doing a lot of damage to us. What we did over here was we brought in another Russian. We brought this Russian half squad over from somewhere over here through the woods. We wanted to get on the side of him, as they have some ATRs. While doing so, this Stug actually was back here. somewhere and fired. Didn't hit, got acquisition. And then I think on this turn they moved. Trying to see when they fired. They moved up to get in better position to either overrun or fire on them. And I believe we moved and stopped here, not knowing that there's an anti-tank gun up here that actually fired down and did not hit, barely, we should say ricocheted off of the Stug. So there's an acquisition on them. I think we did bounding fire. That's what we did, bounding fire. So what we did was, I know what we did. We moved, stopped, and then fired with the penalty. That's what we did. So nothing happened here, but now we have an AT gun that has acquisition on this Stug. Stug's gonna have to start up, which is gonna be fired on again and reverse or move forward. So we have to see how we're gonna handle that. There were units in here, these German units were in this building or somewhere over here, the whole stack. And I split them up and I took this unit around and we got to here, and of course, way back there, these units with the leader and the heavy machine gun. This is the medium machine gun actually. Was able to fire down and hit that unit. So we took them out and they are now broken. So we swung around these guys into the woods. We had to CX them to get in there. So that's the rest of I believe there's 2 squads in there. And they'll cross the stream later and try to work our way up. These Russians were up here, but we decided to pull them back and get into better position. Let's see what else is there. These guys actually belong that hex. This half squad was here, and they decided to join this guy to because they also have ATRs, and we're going to need to try to take out those Stugs. Now, the Russian ATRs, I believe, are 6. The Stug is a 4 on the turret because it gets reduced, but the side and the rear is a 3. So it's better than nothing. Now, we do have other AT, like we know that's there. We have another AT gun there. And everyone has, I believe everyone has ATRs. I have to check. I don't think this guy does. No, he doesn't. But the other guys do. Down here. Oh, let's start with this guy. So what happened was, these guys were all in this building and we split them off. This guy was attacked by that guy. He was able to get range and fire his heavy machine gun and broke the unit. This guy, he's safe. This guy hasn't moved yet. I still have to move him. This is full of mortar units. There's three squads with mortar units. And we had basically a spotter. However, as soon as he got upstairs, this guy, the first fire, he was able to fire and he rolled a 2. And I believe a 2 is a critical hit, and was able to kill him. And even if it was not a critical hit, I still would have taken it out. And I'm going to look at, let me look at this. Oh, because it would have been a 6. And it would have been a 3. Because if I have a leader of 1 and the villain's a 2, so it would have been a +1, and I rolled a 2, +1 is a 3. So it would have been a half a kill, basically reduced. So I have to find out about the critical hit part. So I text a friend of mine about that. I rolled the original 2, and I fired with a heavy machine gun, an infantry unit, on an infantry unit in the building. Does my firepower go up from a 6 to a 12? And does the building TEM go from a +2 to a -2? And that's the question I put in there. Now I know if I had a tank firing that I would get. But since it's infantry and a machine gun, I still need to find it out. So again, so we were going to get ready to get these guys in position, start firing, because they're going to need a spotter, but this guy has been taken out. So it looks like I'm going to have to send up my, break down a squad into a half squad and send them up. And I'm going to have to assault, move to the second floor. All right, so they're kind of getting their stuff together. We had an armored car move up. Last turn he was shot at, nothing happened. Now his top part, as you can see, it's a circle over the 1. So he's actually going to be, he's a 0 on the turret section. And it's open top as well. So we want to try to hit that upper portion of it. Now machine gun firing at a low armor still can take it out. So if we look at here, I was looking here, so if you have a machine gun gives you a 4. So there's still a chance, to do damage if you fired a machine gun. But again, this guy was taken out. He's broken. My friend wrote me back and he said, quickly read it while I was talking to you guys, that IFT does not give critical hits. So this was the unit, by the way, that was up there. And so he would be killed off anyway because it was a K/2. So there's no one there to take a broken morale check. So we have to worry about that, but he is eliminated. So either way, now I know, and this would not be a 6. This would actually be a 3, but there is no 3, so we'll just leave it with a 2. And that is how that's going to end. So again, like I said, it's getting exciting. This guy, by the way, when he came up, he stopped and he fired. So that's why there was an acquisition there. It actually should be 1. Oh, he fired and he got raped. That's why I shot again. He fired and he got raped and he fired again. And so that's why there's 2. All right, so there's only one unit I have to move still, is this guy. So he can't move further than only 4 because he's CX'd. I can't go in a stream because you get CX automatically. So, and if I stay out here, I'll be wide open. And this guy still has his rate. He kept his rate when he shot over here. So if I go this way, he's gonna fire down. He's just been good with his fires. All right, I have to think about what I'm gonna do with that guy. And yes. See, the thing I was gonna do with him, I was gonna do an overrun and get up there. Because with overrun, if they don't have, if he didn't have an ATR, if he fired his ATR, it doesn't have one, then he wouldn't be able to do anything against me. He can close assault me or close combat me, but after I do my overrun. So it comes after. So it would be, and this flowchart was actually pretty helpful. See, when I was coming in for the overrun on him, he cannot do any close combat. He can only do all these. It's after I do the overrun that now defensive fire after overrun, now he can do his close combat if he survives. And that's pretty scary because of if you're in that hex and close combat, I believe they need a 5, and if I'm moving, there's a negative modifier against them. You might need a 4 on the roll, but there's still a chance to take you out, and don't want to lose a Stoop to just a half squad, because that's all it is, a half squad. All right, guys. Again, let me get back to my game. Having a good time learning the rules, and each time understanding a portion of what I need to do. And I'm glad I threw in the tanks. I'm glad I threw in the armored vehicle to get a sense where I'm doing something. I'll get up and I'll look at the rules, read it, come back, do it again, and make sure I get it. And then it's funny, yesterday I'll be sitting down doing something, and then the rules will start popping into my head about what I need to do and how to do it. And they're starting to form into second nature, we'll call it. Once you start doing the work, the fun work, I call it, you start really enjoying the system. All right, fellas, have a good one.